All right, good evening, everybody. We are hosting another virtual open house. Since the board has approved for us to return to in-person learning 5 full days a week on March 22nd, we felt it was very important for us to host another open house to clear up any misconceptions or answer any questions that you may have. If for some reason you still have a question after this, feel free to call this school at any time and we will be happy to answer your questions. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. So I am going to share my screen. So as I had mentioned, the board did approve last night in a special called board meeting that we would be returning in person 5 full days a week on March 22nd. So with that being said, if you choose the in-person learning option on the survey, you will come all 5 days. However, if you do not feel comfortable with that option, the district still has the virtual option for your child. So they will continue utilizing schools PLP and they will either stay enrolled with their virtual teacher, or if you are in person right now and you choose the virtual option, your child will be assigned a virtual teacher for that and for the remainder of the year. So committing to in-person, it means that your child will come to school all 5 days a week. Wednesday will no longer be an NTI day. They will attend all 5 days. And this option is available through the end of the academic school year. So this will be for the last 9 weeks of this year. And as always, our doors open at 7:20, so students may not be dropped off until this time. And classes begin at 8 o'clock. Our last dismissal takes place at 3 o'clock. And buses dismiss first, and then we begin pickups at 3:15. We have a slot at 3:15 and 3:30. So whatever time that you have signed up for the AB rotation, you will continue to pick your child up during that time slot and at whatever you signed up with, either the front door or the back door. If you are going to enroll from RCOLA, then you are going to pick up your child, then we would assign you a time. So you'll just need to call the office and speak with Miss Marissa so we can get that taken care of for you. All students will undergo temperature checks at the beginning of the day. So we check temperatures at parent drop-off. And for our students riding a bus, the bus drivers and monitors check their temperature. So they will not have their temperature checked before entering the building because they already had that done. The side entrance will be used for bus riders, and the back door and front door will be used for pickups. Your child will grab a breakfast and they will eat in their classroom or in a designated location until it's time for classes to begin at 8 o'clock. If your child arrives late, so after 8 o'clock, they will report through the front doors to be temperature checked. They will eat breakfast and then they will head to their classroom. And as always, temperatures must be 100.4 degrees or below to attend school. And it's very important that all students do eat breakfast before 8 o'clock. And then again, if your child is a late arrival, then they will eat breakfast before heading to their classroom. One thing that we are asking, and this has been the same all year, but we are asking that no outside food or drinks are brought in. So your child may bring their lunch to school in a lunchbox. That's perfectly fine. But we are asking that they do not bring in any outside food from any restaurants. So what do classrooms look like? So all desks and tables will be arranged to maximize spacing and to socially distance as much as possible. We are going to aim for 6 feet, and in some cases, 6 feet. Desk and tables will be 6 feet apart. However, that may not be the case in all classrooms. But again, we will socially distance as much as possible in our rooms. In addition to the social distancing, everyone will also wear a mask unless there's a documented health condition on file. And this is for kindergarten through 5th grade, and it actually applies to students through 12th grade as well. Seating charts are required, just as they have been all year. The teachers maintain these records, and then I also keep a copy as well, and this is for contact tracing purposes. So again, going to the restroom is very similar. We have multiple restroom breaks scheduled throughout the day. While in the restroom, students must wear a mask while they're in the restroom, and they must wash their hands before leaving. And water fountains are not available for student use, but adults will be available to refill student water bottles as needed. In the hallway, staff and students will have on a mask at all times, and there will be no congregating in the hallways. And in our hallways, we do have 6 feet markers down in every hallway, so students have that visual reminder to help them really understand that 6 feet and how far apart that is and what that truly looks like. So our procedures in the lunchroom. So again, we are not allowing any outside food delivery during the school day. So food may not be dropped off by parents or guardians or delivered by a restaurant. And this is for students and staff. And this is to decrease our contact and to limit our contact as much as possible. Lunch times are adjusted to allow for social distancing and sanitation of tables in between lunch periods. And students will eat in their designated lunch area. So this will be either the gym or the cafeteria. And masks are always worn when students are in line for lunch, and they are kept on until they sit down. Then they may take their mask off to eat lunch, and as soon as they are finished, they are to put their mask back on. Hand sanitizer stations are available throughout the building. We have multiple sanitation stations throughout the cafeteria, in our hallways, to keep students as safe as possible. And we also keep a seating chart for lunch areas. And again, students must not congregate. They stay in their seats. When they are finished, they raise their hand and an adult will come and get their tray and throw their things away to keep them seated. So for related arts, so this is going to be special classes. So art, library, music, and PE. They will report to the teacher's homeroom to deliver instruction. Students will stay in their assigned homerooms or their assigned seats for that class period. There are some exceptions now that the weather hopefully is going to be nicer and it's going to warm up. Classes will take place outside as well. We do have a designated outdoor classroom area, and that will be utilized for related arts classes as well as homeroom classes as well. So recess. So students have scheduled movement breaks throughout the day, and they are in specified locations. As of right now, playground equipment will not be utilized. However, this may change. And if this does change, we will make sure that that is communicated to families and we have proper cleaning and sanitation procedures in place. And then all shared equipment will be sanitized and disinfected after each use. For dismissal, students must exit the building. So when their name is called for pickups, or when their bus is called, they exit the building. There is no congregating again. And we dismiss buses beginning at 3 o'clock and pickups begin dismissing at 3:15. And just to reiterate, we do ask that you come at your designated time. Now that we have students returning 5 days a week, our numbers will be higher. So it's really important that you stick to your time to make sure we keep traffic flowing as smooth as possible. And also for the remainder of the year, there will be no aftercare offered at any elementary school. So policies on wearing a mask. All kindergartners through 12th grade students are required to wear a mask at all times in the building. If a student does not have a mask, one will be provided. We always keep extra masks in our office, and we keep a few in the classroom as well, just in case one would break or a child would need it. We have those stored in several different places to make sure that students have access to those very quickly. We also do encourage that you send an extra mask with your child. And if you choose to do that, we just keep those in their backpack. If for some reason they would have a mask break or there would be a problem, they could easily and quickly switch those masks out. So if your child feels sick, they will report it to their teacher, who will follow the protocol for sending students to the nurse. And if a student or staff member tests positive for COVID, it is very important that we let our health officer know. So at Clearfield, our health officer is Miss Marissa. And so if that happens, or if your child would test positive, you would simply call and speak with Miss Marissa. And she has some questions that she would ask you, and we would make sure that all protocols are followed. And this is simply to make sure that contact tracing happens effectively and correctly. So again, if your child would test positive, it's very important that you let Miss Marissa know so we can conduct that contact tracing. If you would want to switch from in-person to RCOLA or to virtual, this can be done at any time. So if you sign up for in-person, but your child comes to school and you decide that you would rather have them to go the RCOLA route, that is okay. They can switch to that at any time. However, virtual students cannot switch to in-person until the end of a 9-week break. So when you commit to RCOLA on the survey that's going out to parents, then you would be committing to that for the remainder of the school year, since this is the 4th 9 weeks that we are heading into. So other important information, lunch pickup will take place at Townhall and McBrayer Elementary Monday through Friday from 12:30 to 1 o'clock for our RCOLA students. And if a child has a Chromebook checked out from CES, they must return those when they return on March 22nd. So since we will not be utilizing any virtual days during the school week, it is very, very, very important that those Chromebooks come back to school with your child. They will be using them in the classroom. So it's very important that we have those here. If you are an RCOLA student, or your child is an RCOLA student who has a Chromebook checked out, you may keep those until the end of the year. So, and then at the end of the year, we will have everyone return those Chromebooks so we can get those cleaned, we can get those sanitized, and we can make sure everything is working properly for next year. For any snow or flood days or any reason that we would be out of school, learning will continue, and that will be through NTI. So it's very important that your child checks their Google Classroom by 9 a.m. to locate their assignments for the day. Again, virtual learning will remain an option for all students for the remainder of this school year. And if you choose to stay enrolled in RCOLA, your child will continue to complete their work and assignments through school's PLP. Please make sure that you're checking your email to receive any updates and regular communication from your RCOLA teacher. And if you're currently in person and you wish to enroll in RCOLA, that is perfectly fine as well. There is a survey that has been sent out. So please make sure that you complete that survey. And if you choose RCOLA, you will be assigned a virtual teacher and you will begin working in school's PLP. If you have any questions that we haven't answered, please feel free to email us. You can email cesquestions@rowan.kyschools.us, and you will receive a direct email response to your question. If you prefer to call, that is also completely fine. You can call this school at any time and ask questions, and we will do our best to get you an answer as quickly as possible. And the last thing, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you complete that returning to school survey. It's very important for us to have those numbers as soon as possible so we can start preparing classrooms and our building to be ready to open on March 22nd. So we look forward to seeing everybody back. And again, if you have any questions, you can just let us know. Thank you.